This is WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
The Kentucky Wildcats taking the Rupp Arena court tonight for the annual blue-white scrimmage, the unofficial beginning to the college basketball season. Skal Labissiere just recently ruled eligible. He's ready to go for the white team. Both teams would shoot 60% from the field, but the first half was all about Tyler Eulis. Kicks it out to Michael Mulder, buries the triple, then later Eulis finding Skal for the oop. Eulis 10 first half assists, 15 for the game. Eulis, though, not done. Dishes it off to Charles Matthews, slams it on the baseline, 9 for Matthews. Strong night for Jamal Murray, playing on the blue team, working against Mulder. Both of those guys can shoot the rock. Little one-handed floater in the lane for Murray, 9 points, 3 of 6 shooting for the freshman. Second half, Isaiah Briscoe showing off what he brings to the team. Lobs one up to Skal, another double-double, another oop for him, a double-double for Skal, 18 points, 11 boards. The white team wins it over the blue team 74-66 at Rupp Arena.
This isn't last year where you have two platoons. When you split guys up, you know, it's hard in this kind of setting. I'm anxious to play a couple exhibition games, even, you know, they're not league games, but they're still, you know, teams that are going to have organization and have played, you know, for 2 months versus our, you know, 3 weeks. But you got to fight, you got to defend, you got to do it together, and, you know, so we're going to see.
The Kentucky football team played an ugly game against Mississippi State last weekend, but now it's time to focus on Tennessee. Not the best of offensive output for the Wildcats against the Bulldogs, with penalties and dropped passes. Head coach Mark Stoops understands some of those things are all part of football, but he still doesn't like seeing the mistakes on the field.
Some drops are part of the game. You know, I think if you watch NFL football, those guys are getting paid a lot of money, and there's drops here and there. It's no excuse. I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it, and you know, we can't do it. Not if you expect to win in critical games. But I don't. Again, it's not something that I'm going to start panicking about. I don't think we're. You know, I think we've got receivers that can catch the ball and will.
The Wildcats return home this weekend for a night game on Halloween with the Tennessee Volunteers. Kickoff set for 7:30 with live coverage once again on the SEC Network. Tennessee has won 29 of the last 30 meetings with Kentucky and is currently an 8.5-point favorite entering the game. The Fall Classic getting underway tonight, the first World Series since 1975 in which neither team has won a championship in at least 25 years. Daniel Murphy of the New York Mets, former Red Edinson Volquez of the Kansas City Royals. The first pitch in the bottom of the first, Alcides Escobar drills one to left center field. Yoenis Cespedes loses it in the lights, can't come up with it. Escobar does not stop until he reaches the dugout. The first inside the park home run in a World Series game since 1929. 1-0 Royals. Top forward Travis d'Arnaud grounds one off the glove of Mike Moustakas at third. Murphy scores, and we're all tied at 1 in the 5th. It's the Grandy man, Curtis Granderson, a solo shot to right off of Volquez. New York takes a 2-1 lead. The game is currently in the 9th with the Mets leading the Royals by a score of 4-3. The NAIA preseason coaches polls released this afternoon for both the Division I and Division II levels. We start in Division II with the ladies. The Union women are ranked 19th to start the season, receiving 98 total points. On the men's side in Division II, Union coming off its first ever 30-win season. The Bulldogs begin the year ranked 7th in the country. Campbellsville tops the Division I women's poll, one of 4 Mid-South Conference teams in the top 25. Cumberland, Tennessee 12th, Shawnee State 16th, and the U-Pike Bears begin the season ranked 22nd. Speaking of U-Pike, the men's team is ranked number 2 in the preseason poll behind Dalton State. Georgetown not far behind at number 6. Campbellsville 18th in the country to begin the season. To some high school football, a top 10 matchup Friday night in Pike County between number 6 Paintsville, number 10 Shelby Valley. The Wildcats have not lost a game since week 0 when they lost on the road at Franklin County. 3 running backs have registered at least 600 rushing yards this season, and Paintsville knows it will need to play disciplined defense on Friday.
Just that whacked up offense they run. You know, just double tight, wings, I think the last time I saw that, Vince Lombardi ran that. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge for us. There ain't no doubt. I mean, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're a really good, talented team. You know, it's just going to be a hard time for us to manage to see where the ball's going. And, you know, I got to do my job of staying at home, and so do our corners and everybody else, because they like to run a bunch of reverses and everything and jet sweep. So, you know, for us to just stay on our home alignment, you know, and just play some football like we've been doing all year.
It's now time to announce our team of the week from week 9 of the high school football season. In Johnson County, the Johnson Central Golden Eagles entered their game with Ashland Blazer, averaging more than 44.5 points per game. But all they needed to beat the Tomcats were 8. An 8-7 victory secured the program its 4th straight district championship and a #1 seed in the playoffs.